Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lydia here with your new moon reading in Aquarius for January. Oh my goodness, I said this again, February the 9th, 2024. And I'm really excited to say that basically as of the end of this month, we are going to be seeing a lot of planets that are going to be moving forward. So anything that is in retrograde at this time is going to be moving forward at the end of this month, which means that we have a lot of forward movement, and the motivation that we have to complete goals will be increasing, which is fabulous. There's a lot of things that this would pertain to as well. This could have anything to do with goals that you have that are when it comes to, say, purchasing something like a big purchases, having relationships, and how things will move and be dynamic in your relationships. This could also have to do with, of course, creative projects and or your career. So things moving ahead. Also, I get a huge thing coming up with decluttering within your environment, whether that is in your home or where you work. So there's a lot going on and a lot of favorable things when it comes to our spiritual development. That is something else I got to say. Our spiritual development is jettisoning at this time. It's going in increment steps, but in a huge capacity. So this is a very iconic and very interesting time for each and every one of us. Everything that we're doing is going to be very unique as well to each individual's life and life path or situation. I have to apologize right now for any type of lighting issues, because we're in the Northern Hemisphere. And basically, right now, we've been having cloudy days like no one's business. It's been every single day. And today, of all the times, it is super cloudy and it's actually impairing my lighting. So anyway, so I apologize for that. But let's get right into this new moon. New moons, of course, bring this newness. So if you've done the work to let go of your shadow sides, to let go of things that you don't need any in your life anymore, things that just are not aligned in your path, which also includes people, then you're you're going to see something new come in. This is a time of actually bringing in gifts and forward movement towards your goals. So it also means that you actually you have the capability of creating that success for every goal that you want or that you have in the planning stages. But also, this might also be a time to revisit some creative projects or even some relationships in your in this lifetime, to see whether or not they align with you right now, and or if they do, and with creative projects or career, you might have to do some tweaking or just revisit the old project or a different project that you have had in the back burner and bring it with something new into the fore. So anyways, let's go on and let's take a look at the new moon reading here. And I'm drawing from two card decks. So one of them is the Moonology Oracle cards, which I usually take from Yasmin Boland, and her newest deck is the Moonology Messages Oracle. So we're taking from the two of those. And I've got basically four cards. They're alternating. So we're going to start with the Moonology deck. So let's look at these cards together. The first one is your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. Now, the other thing that I want to mention, sorry, I'm trying to get this right. That the commitment to your goal means a focus. So you have to be laser focused toward the goals that you want to see come to fruition. That means distractions be gone. There's no more distractions that will take you away from what goals you need, because your goals are important. Your attaining those goals matter. So what are you prepared to do in order to have the success of your goals? That means you have to have some kind of work to do, or that you're doing some work towards it. Now, it does not necessarily mean that you have to have a complete action with everything that is going on. Just planning things would be a point of actually of action towards the goals. So planning, putting in organizational structures, creating a list, or even going online. If you're, say, for example, your goal is to go on a trip, well, go online and start looking at some of the things that you want to do when you go on the trip. Look at some airfares, just explore those options. And write these things down as well. So that tells the universe that this is what you want. So you're being tested because the universe will rip that goal away from you, that's the success from that goal away from you, if it is not in alignment with your purpose, as well as if you're not focused on it. So let's read what the guidebook has to say about this. Your commitment is being tested. There could be some challenges coming your way, but they're just the universe's way of testing you. The first quarter moon calls for you to face any hurdles with confidence. What do you actually think is possible? If you believe you can do it, then you probably can. If you spend your life affirming that something is too big for you to surmount, it probably is. See how this works? Do you believe your dreams will come true, or have you secretly already given up? Showing some commitment now will help you move towards your desired outcome. What you believe to be true is true for you. So believe in yourself. So, manifested attunement or affirmation you can say is, I am committed to my dreams and move towards them with confidence. I am committed to my dreams and move towards them with confidence. That means that you are committed to doing what it is that you want to do. And that could be meant multiple things too. Additional meanings that might resonate with some of you. The answer to your question is yes, but not yet. So in other words, there's planning involved. You're halfway to your goal. You still need to put in a bit more effort. Sometimes we just need to realize how much we want something. Or you need to recommit to someone or something. And that makes a lot of sense. Like to me, basically, if you are committing yourself to what it is that you're wanting to do to get to your ultimate goal, then the universe is going to see this. The energy is going to flow towards the universe and the creation of form towards that material and or ultimate goal to what it is that you want. Because really, the universe wants you to be in joy, in the state of joy, and be happy for everything that you're doing here, especially where spirit is concerned. Spirit wants you to be happy. So let's look at the teaching section for this. In the lunar cycle, the first quarter moon comes between the new moon and the full moon. So this is basically right after the February 9th period. That's basically where we're looking at. It's a time when the sun and moon are at a hard astrological angle to each other, and this can prompt a small crisis. No matter when you pull this card, you need to see any dramas as a stepping stone to where you want to be. It can also be a time when you need to stay strong through a storm. Now, that is something when it's saying there, the universe is saying it's testing you. When the universe tests you, it's basically all about teaching. It's a teaching time period for you to accommodate the experience that you get into your teaching cycle as your life cycle. You take it, you understand, if you're able to understand what it is that you're supposed to be learning from this challenging time period, and then take the step to move forward. You might have to do some forgiving and or acceptance into the situation, but this is this learning experience, and this is why the universe tests, or quote unquote tests you. Just if you think about it, going through school or grade school, you're tested on what it is, what knowledge that you know. But in grade school or any type of school, usually you're trying to memorize it, and it's only temporary. In this, it's a life experience. It's something that you're going to remember for pretty much the rest of your life. So let's go on to the next card and see what story this is playing out. Moon maybe intuition. Now, the interesting thing about this too is following our intuition. At this particular time, we are being made to follow our intuition in a huge capacity, especially when it comes to the media or social media, seeing things out there, basically what is going on in the world today, but also following your intuition, like basically what you see as truth and what you know deep down inside, what aligns with you as truth. What is your truth? find your truth. And this is another way of looking at the introspection. So at this time, especially in February, we will be starting to look back at certain things. And that's what I mean by introspection. And kind of not so much, ruminate with the analyzing, but you're going to analyze what has happened so that you can make the connections. Like the first card says, that you're committed to something. You're committed because you're starting to let go of the guck. You're trying to pave that pathway towards the goal in a laser focused situation. And with that, using your intuition to get to where you need to go, because your intuition is going to guide you to that absolute truth. Knowing what you're seeing is truth out there as well. If you do watch the news, I don't. I just gotten sick of it. But anyways, news and social media, be very, very cautious or discerning what you see. Do your own research and also make it so that you understand what is going on. Use that intuition for yourself. Follow your gut. So that's what that's basically talking about. And so we're going to go and look in the guidebook and see what it has to say. 9 times out of 10, this deck will give you a straight answer, but sometimes you'll get this card. Perhaps a little frustratingly, it firmly informs you that there's no real need for you to ask your question because you already know the answer. Well, at least deep down. So take a moment now and close your eyes and breathe. Turn inward. Feel your energetic body around you. What does your intuition tell you about your situation? Any feelings that come up now should feel neutral. True intuition isn't emotionally charged. When you draw this card, you're being asked to think less about logic and more about what you're feeling in your heart and gut. Your feelings will never misguide you. Some people consider intuition to be some kind of a cosmic thing. The fact is, however, that it's not really cosmic, it's normal. Nearly all truly successful people know when their intuition is trying to tell them something and know to ignore their intuition at their perils or at their peril. So dig deep before you try another card instead. What is your intuition telling you here? An additional meaning for this card for those that it might resonate to meditate and see what comes through. Your feelings about the situation are spot on. What is your intuition telling you? Fear derails intuition. So it do not be in fear. Try fake it till you make it, if that's the case, but basically do not be in fear at this time. Connect with the moon goddess Selena under the moon. The moon goddess Selena is the spirit. So about this particular symbol, the moon goddess Selena is the spirit behind this card. She is said to be the personification of the moon. In astrology, the moon is all about intuition, among other things. And that's it, at this point, follow your intuition in anything that you're doing, especially for decisions upon your goals. So let's look at relationships. In the relationship situation, your intuition might tell you whether or not a new resource or a person is right for you at this time, or whether or not they're trustworthy. And again, this is something about truth. So knowing the truth of the matter at hand. So the situation, what is the truth? Sometimes these things can be very difficult to find, but also knowing that the truth sometimes can be difficult to swallow. If you're in a specific relationship where things aren't working out, there's there's a lot of butting heads. There's basically a time where you're no longer resonating with that person and you're kind of diverging on this plane of existence, because both of us have or both of you have two different journeys to go on, two different spiritual pathways, and sometimes they come together, especially when it comes to twin flames or in in situations where you're meant to be together for for a certain part of your life. And then sometimes it just means that you are no longer in spiritual alignment with this person just because they have taught you what you need to learn, and you have done the same with them. So it's a transient and very like dynamic situation, relationships, right? So anyways, intuitively, that is something what's coming up right now. When they say moon, maybe it's just more or less figuring out um, what is in alignment with your intuition. What is your intuition telling you about every little thing, including big decisions, like I was talking about, these big decisions. So let's go to the third card. We've got four cards, and let's see what this has to say. Take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Taking time to breathe out. This is exhaling. When we're exhaling, we're letting go of gunk that you don't need anymore. It's not doing anything for you. It's basically toxifying your system. So when you take the time to breathe out, what you're doing is you're reflecting upon things. You're getting the opportunity to go deep within and find what the truth of the matter is. So again, this is talking about truth, and this also fortifies your integrity. So let's look at take time to breathe out. The intensity of the full moon has abated, and what are we left with? That's what this card is asking you. It suggests that the situation you're asking about has now peaked, and it's time for you to regroup and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. Have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try to accept the way things are now and give yourself and others time out to relax. Breathe. We can't be on all the time, which sometimes that does happen, right? If you feel you've hit an obstacle or even failed in some way, now's the time to reflect on how to do things differently next time. Be honest with yourself if you feel bad about your current situation, and then remind yourself that life goes in cycles. And isn't that truth? That's the truth for everything. Life does go in cycles. So, an affirmation you can practice at this time: I am where I am, and it's okay. And that's a good thing. It's feeling good in where, like, in your own skin, feeling good as to where you are right now because you've done the work. You've basically looked at everything that you've been doing, or what challenges have come up in your life, and piecing it together and making sense out of it, saying that, yeah, you know what, it's basically made me who I am today, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So, additional meanings that might resonate with some of you: you should know where you stand either now or very soon. You need to take time out of your own, or out for your own good. Taking time out for your own good is self-care, and that is so needed at this time. It's time for you to share your wisdom and experience with someone else. In other words, a teaching and leadership situation, and that's also a very Aquarian thing too. Avoid falling into a slump. So that's, kind of, don't get into that depression. Don't get into that point where you are non-motivated. This is a time of high motivation and getting goals done, because they're at this particular time period where they could be very successful. The teaching part of this card, the disseminating moon, is the first moon phase after the explosion of energy that comes from the full moon. No matter when you pick this card, it suggests you're at a more tranquil point in the life cycle of whatever situation you're asking about. This is not the ideal time to start something new, although I'll talk about that in a second. The disseminating moon is the time to breathe out. Give yourself some time off and think about what is past. So, like I said, reflect, right? So, starting something new, what I would say is that when it says this is not a time to start something new, it could very well be that what you're doing is, especially when you come to goals, whether they're career goals or creative project goals, doing the planning stages, making sure that the step by steps are going, are written down. You have a game plan for the situation, and that's what I'm talking about activating something in particular. So this is a time of planning, a time of making sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's with, especially with major contracts, or creative endeavors that are for your business or someone else's business. Getting together in a community effort in order to actually create goals. This is the new energy of the new Earth, and it's about oneness. It's about that energy that we all feel together as a collective consciousness. And that's another reason why you have to take time for self-care. And when I say self-care, and I mean it, I mean, you need to take the time to rest, to relax. Don't feel bad about it or guilty. You don't have to set answers for anybody else. Just make sure that you take that time for yourself, even if it means standing sitting, standing or sitting, whatever feels comfortable to you, and taking those nice deep belly breaths for 3 breaths or more. 5 breaths ideal. And as you sit there and you breathe out, let go consciously of every stressful part in your muscles, in your tissues, and think about, as you're breathing in, you're breathing in the energy of spirit, of all the new energies that are out there that are coming in the new earth. When I say about the new earth, I'm talking about an earth that we've always wanted. So that's one of those things that we're gonna be doing for the rest of this year, and then some. This is, like I said, a bridge year, a year that, and take a note when I say that this is like a bridge year, basically between the old paradigm, the old realities that we know in this particular realm, and going into something new, because things are going to be changing like no one's business in 2025. Things will be totally different in 2025. And why is that? I encourage you to go and listen to the astrology for these next few years, because it's life changing. Really, it is life changing. We're shifting with a lot of planets. The number of planets that are very key are moving into the constellation of Aquarius. And that's very encouraging. We are in the Aquarian time period right now in February. And I am an Aquarian, by the way. So, anyways, it is one of those things where we're looking at the newness. What do Aquarians stand for? Humanitarianism. So it's for the people, not the totalitarian lifestyle, or the top-down governmental control over everything. That's not the greatest, not the greatest systems that are going on. So it's a revamping of the systems. And that is why we need the self-care at this time as well, because we are being revamped. Everything in our bodies are being recalibrated for the new earth. So keep these things in mind. Let's look at the last card. Reach for the moon, go for it. Isn't this beautiful? I'm going to bring this up a little bit, and you'll see it in the next frame. But basically, going for it. This is all about taking your goals to the next step. Your goals absolutely matter, and that you have the option for success. This is about success. This is actually about you creating the goals that you need for your success, and the step-by-step structures that are necessary as the basement for the successful outcome. And I also want to say, do not get attached to the outcome. You will be successful, but the universe may have something as an outcome that comes out a little bit better. Not a little bit, actually, really damn better than what you could ever imagine. And that's why when you say your goals, when you throw your goals up there, whether by your voice, like basically saying it, talking out loud, or in your thoughts, or in a vision board, it's these, I place these thoughts, these, whatever it is that I'm throwing up, these goals, to you, the universe, for the highest good of all, in divine timing, or something better. So this or something better for me at this time. And it's important to actually keep that in mind, because if you're attached to it, a specific outcome, if you just basically say, I want this is how it's going to turn out. The how is not up to us. The how the goal turns out is not up to us. Why? Because the learning that we get from the final, the conclusion of the goal, where it gets to the success of that goal, is basically our learning experience. And it's all about how the soul is moving through this life path and learning about everything that is going on. So the how is not up to us, but the success is guaranteed. Let's look at go for it. If you were hoping that the cards would confirm that you can get what you want, you're in luck. This card comes with a message. Go for it. In other words, it's all there for you to win. If you've been doubting yourself or questioning your ability to achieve a goal or to make something work, this card reminds you that you're magical and amazing, and you should rise to the challenge. Go forth or forward with the positive expectation that everything can work out exactly as you'd like it to. The road ahead might stretch you a little, and you might have to call on resources that you didn't know you had. So try not to become upset or even resentful if things don't just unfold exactly the way that you want. And that's what I mean is that it's about the journey. It's not so much about the destination, but when the destination happens, it's going to be successful. So there's a reason why it's all developing the way that it is. And part of that reason could well be because it's helping you grow as a person, like I'm saying, possibly on a spiritual level. Well, it's a guarantee. But one thing is certain, do definitely go for it. Additional meanings for this card that might resonate with you. Don't give up. Aim even higher. So think big. Don't think into the small things unless that's actually what you want, which is fine too. But think big. Success is within your grasp. Challenges can be character building, and belief makes the seemingly impossible possible. About the symbol, people will tell you that the sky's the limit, but moon lovers know it's easy to aim even higher. Go for it. That's the beautiful thing about this too. When they're saying about this, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's exactly, one thing in your life or another. It's all of it. Go for it. Have the opportunity to reach for the stars when it comes to this time period. That's what I mean about all the planets moving in forward capacity and not in retrograde by the end of this month. We're going to have a few good months of this actually. And so, like I said, check out the astrology, but also um, go and check below. I'll send the link below, but basically check out my 6 month reading from January to June of 2024, because it also gives you tidbits on what is going on for the next 6 months, because we are really jettisoning in our spiritual growth. Huge. And this does come up for that. But also, I also have some insights into 2024, and it'll let you know a little bit more about what's going on. So those are two really good videos to actually listen to back and see how things are going in here. So let's go over this and let's just see what we have. So we're being tested. Our commitment is being tested for what it is that we are wanting in our lives, the goals that we want. How focused are we? Are we going to be laser focused or really allow distraction to come in? And in that case, then we likely will not have the successful goal. We need to have that focus. Then we look at moon maybe, the intuition, following our intuition with everything that we're doing, making sure that as we are going along our path and knowing that we our goals, our ideals are at a point of success, that intuition in general is what we should be drawing upon. Follow your gut with every little step. Take the time out to breathe, though. Make sure that you are able to reflect upon some of the little steps, and as well as the items and things, the education, the experiences that you've had along your life path to this time period. And also know that your successes are guaranteed. You go for it. Reach for the moon when it comes to this, as it says. Make sure that you know that your successes are guaranteed, because at this time we have this capability as a expert manifestors. Everything that you put out there can be done, can be into form, like I was saying. Think of it as bubbles rising to the surface in a very grand lake, and thinking that those bubbles, as they rise to the surface, they pop. They send all that energy right up into the universe, into the ethers. And so when it does, it means that you have this capability of creating a form, creating form out of the energy that we are, from what it is that you're thinking about. So manifesting is great. Knowing that we have this capability at this time is phenomenal. And I like it's this is a fantastic reading for this particular time period of the new moon, knowing that we do have a lot of things that are actually supporting us, like the planetary aspects for one, knowing that we're in this time of Aquarian energy, which is the divine feminine energy as well, which helps with the nurturing and the compassionate form that and the oneness that the collective consciousness is feeling. So that love is also uh, transforming our ideas into form. It's amazing. It's a pretty cool time period when it comes to that. And I would say you have the capability right now to send love out into the world for all the chaos and all the things that are going on, because it's going to continue. Yes, we're still going to go through some challenging times by watching, if you're got one eye on the news, you're going to see that there's a lot of upheaval going on. But stay centered, Go within. When you find these things happening, take that time to breathe. When it gets to you, if you feel anxious or anything of that sort, take that moment to breathe, take the time out for your self-care. As you become busier and busier, this is going to become more and more pertinent for you to do. So, I hope this helps, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like it if you did, as well as subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. And I encourage you to go to my website, takebackyourpower.live or .live, because I always say that, living to take back your power. And sign up for my weekly newsletter. It's a free weekly newsletter, and I do channelings and also give you a card for the week to help you along your way. So thank you so much again for watching. I so much appreciate everything that you've done and that you're watching here. I hope you have a lovely February, and I look forward to seeing you in the full moon reading in at the end of February. So thanks again for watching. Bye for now.